Welcome to the Augmentation of Man. I'm Renee Miller,
I think I'm Kent.
and today we're going to be talking about it's really an interesting concept. It was a lesson that was channeled from Kent's higher self, which is a part of the soul that directs the learning process. And his soul is pretty evolved and has a lot of information to share.
What's it called? What was it
And
called?
this is um, time is an attribute of
Fear.
fear.
Hmm.
So how does time relate to fear? And then we're gonna expand on this even more. And I think it's gonna give you a lot to think about.
Yeah. So, as we were told many times before, time does not exist. So we make up time ourselves. So we create time within our own minds as an attribute of fear.
And so we're going to get
Explain
into,
how that
yeah,
works.
we're going to get into that. So, for example, we are expecting something to happen. Say, we get predictions all the time,
Yeah.
and
But we don't get a time for it.
we usually don't.
We normally
But
don't, but we,
and we don't give it much weight because we
no,
know that there's a lot of factors that go into these
that's
predictions.
right.
Okay. So, but say we're given a time frame and or we're just expecting it to happen. Say we're the sleuths and we're trying to decipher the message. It's a little bit oblique. And we
And we don't
decide, okay, this is going to happen probably in May,
And we
but
don't,
then
well, we
it
don't use
doesn't.
discernment.
Well,
It's,
we're trying to make our
yeah,
best guess. And then we assign a time frame, but then it doesn't happen. And so what we do is we're building up to, we're looking at, okay, May's coming
well,
with
May
this
doesn't happen.
fear and this anticipation of something. But where's the fear coming from?
Yeah, well, it doesn't happen in May, so now we say, well, it must mean September. Then we wait till September. It doesn't happen. Well, it must mean the end of the year in December. We're subjecting this event to our own time frame.
Yes. And it has nothing to
No,
do with the truth. It
it has
has
nothing to
nothing
do
to
with
do with
time.
time. So what the fear is based in is how long we expect this event to last before I can achieve balance again,
Mhm.
which is really what it means is when will things go back to
Okay,
normal?
yeah. So you expect when this event happens that you'll experience balance then.
Hmm.
Well, not necessarily true. And we were told early
Hmm.
on in our mentors told us there's no such thing as time. Do
Right?
not base anything on time. You will know, let it happen naturally.
Hmm.
Nature creates its own
Time.
time,
Yes.
and it's not by our clock or our watch
Hmm. It's when the conditions all come together,
to
all the
create.
factors to
Right.
create an event. So you have a crossing or coexistence of all points, or all energies at a single
Yeah.
point
So
that make the event happen.
yeah. So we tend to assign a time frame to something for something to happen. Say this atmospheric event we were told about, and we were given a time frame of December, but all the conditions were not present to allow this to happen. So we could push the event out and reassign a new time frame, which would expect this event to happen, which may or may not
Mhm.
occur or happen.
Mhm.
So based on whether all the conditions exist at the atmospheric level that
For
it's
this
supposed to, yeah,
atmospheric event that we were
yeah,
told about, which is in a previous video.
yeah. So therefore, there's not such a thing as time. We are just creating it in our own minds. So it will happen, but we have to know that it will happen on its own natural self.
Its own natural timing,
Right.
when all the factors, all the energies
When they
come
come together,
together
then the
at a
time
single point.
and humans have, oh, I feel something's going to happen. Something big is going to happen.
Mhm,
It will happen, but
mhm.
at nature's timing of it happening.
Right, in its own natural time. So humans are perpetually assigning a time value to an expected event so we can prepare, but also to understand how long it's going to last before we can regain balance. In other words, before things get back to normal.
And
But it's all based on fear.
right. And when what is considered normal, what
Yeah,
accepting what is
right. It's just when we feel balance.
right. So if time does not develop in truth, then time develops with fear.
Hmm. Or at least an element of time, right? Because time can also be used
But
in within the universe. They use it in
well, not
relationship
talking about
to
universal
movement.
time. I'm talking about time here on Earth.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's based in fear because fear creates security
Mm.
for many.
Okay, so we're going to get into
So
that.
yeah.
We develop all our own fears from the time that we are a baby, as our parents are projecting their own fears onto us as we're growing up.
Well, not only
But
just parents, the baby, but as we get older, our peers subject their fears.
they project their
Right.
fears onto us. But also, where did our parents get their fears? They got them from their
Their
parents. So,
and their
therefore,
fears, yeah.
it becomes a generational fear because it goes back several generations. These fears keep being put onto the next generation. And fears accumulate from the time that we're babies until the current time. So we have just lifetime of fears that we have accumulated and behaviors that have developed out of those fears.
Mhm.
And a lot of those behaviors create the development of the ego. So
So
here we are at the ego.
yeah, but fears cloak and hide the truth
Mhm,
because the truth can be very painful. Truth of knowing who you are and
mhm.
what you are can
Or
be very
accepting
painful.
who you really
Right,
are.
accepting. And it
So,
can be very painful. And people don't want to go through pain.
mhm,
I'm talking about a mental pain,
yeah,
not pain.
heart, well, sometimes
Yeah,
heart pain too.
not pinching you and saying that's painful.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of pain. So the ego itself is developed to shield and act like a protection for yourself.
For your own fears.
That's right. And everybody
Mhm,
has their own ego to protect their own fears.
mhm. So those fears can be fear of not being accepted or not fitting into the social network. There's all kinds of fears.
Yeah,
And
many fears.
yeah, and so we develop an ego to cloak these fears or hide them from other people. But that cloak hides the truth about who we are, even from ourselves. And the ego is developed to shield and protect ourselves. But so some of those examples of, the behaviors that we develop to hide the truth of ourselves. It would be like, are we overcompensating to hide our fears through this loud projection of confidence? You're overly confident because you're really hiding the fact that you don't have any self-confidence. So that would be one example of the ego developing this behavior to protect this fear of, being discovered that you have no confidence.
Yeah. And Renee's a swagger.
You see the men and their swagger, they're trying to project this confidence, where maybe they don't have
Yeah.
one.
I,
Um,
I see it coming from those who think they have all the answers,
mhm.
or they want to make you think they have all the answers.
Because they're too afraid
Right.
of not
Not
having the
having.
answers, or
Yeah.
being perceived as not very smart.
Yeah.
So that
So,
again, that's fear.
yeah.
The choice of clothes that we wear and the persona we
Yeah,
want to
the shoes
project.
we wear, the type of shoes,
Mhm.
those are all projecting a certain
An
image,
image. It's
which
not,
of
it's
fear.
hiding who our true self is, because we don't want to be associated as maybe dull or whatever, fill in the blank.
Yeah, you
Like,
got someone who was born into poverty but works hard to have the money as an adult to impress those that are indulge in the material world.
so they've always got
Yeah,
to have like the most expensive cars,
most expensive
more
houses,
elaborate
etc.
things, more elaborate clothing, because they're overcompensating for the fact that perhaps they were poor as a child, hiding who they really are, just the truth of who they are.
Yeah, so we are hypercritical of others, and we've seen that because we are hiding our own perceived insignificancy.
And that's just perceived.
Yeah.
It's just the fear of, you know, you're trying to cover up something that you are not proud of yourself. The
Well, it's
fear,
not
you're,
it's not
you
really
don't
being
want the,
proud. You just don't want others to know the weaknesses that you
okay,
have.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
So the ego must be broken down in order for us to see the truth of who we really are,
yeah.
which is extremely painful.
And so you've heard all these spiritual teachers talking about we have to whittle away at the ego. We have to diminish the ego. And so in order to do that, that's how we can reveal the true self, the higher self, the soul, and get back to who we really are.
And that's where the phrase come about, the truth will set you free.
Mhm. Because
That's
you get
true.
to a
Yeah.
point where you don't have to put all this energy into covering up things that you want to hide, right?
Mhm.
And so your higher self had said that this is the truth will set you free is a part of our limited language, but
Mhm.
it applies.
Yeah.
And
So
so,
languages are limited.
yeah,
All languages are limited, and they are inadequate to fully define what truth is. So all language here on earth inhibit who we really are.
yeah, because we cannot really learn at that higher level because we don't have the language in order to assign it a conceptual value.
Yes.
And we cannot use the language to sufficiently um, define who we are as a soul.
If we have to
Right.
define to someone else.
Yeah. Or even ourselves.
Yeah. Well, we tend to understand it ourselves. Understanding leads to clarity, and clarity leads to good decision making.
Mhm.
So
Which could lead you on to the right path that
right.
you had
So
chosen before you even incarnated here.
so how do we
So
break the cycle?
of generational fear,
It's
we have
been
to teach the kids,
yeah,
and we have to teach them discernment between truth that is given and the ego that is developing within them, which creates a cage of fears. The way it came through your higher or from your higher self is we're caging ourselves in through fear. And once we let that go, we're out of the cage, we gain the freedom, it sets
Yeah.
us free where we're free to explore without being inhibited by all these fears.
So that's how we teach our children. How do we break through as an adult?
And so we have to break the ego by breaking the fears, breaking through all the fears. But when this happens, it's very painful. The way it was described from your higher self is, usually it's this dark night of the soul, or you end up go plummeting down to the bottom of the barrel before you rise again. And, through, it can be just decision making, but it's all those hard luck things that strip away the ego that bears the true self.
Yeah.
It
So
eventually brings the true self out, and we start to realize that all these other barriers we've put up didn't help
yeah.
us at
So
all.
once you're on a path of truth and you begin to understand who you are, okay, once you begin to understand who you are, it will give you clarity on your decision making.
Mhm.
And
Because then you understand why you're here.
yeah, and then your decisions will lead you to a higher path of learning.
Mhm.
Should.
Yeah, because it's all about the learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things that have been pushed down through history is Franklin Roosevelt said, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself."
And that was a very
Yeah,
beautiful
the beginning of World War
thing.
II.
Yeah. So he was trying to calm the masses,
That's right.
but um, it applies to today.
It applies to every day throughout time,
Mhm.
if there is time.
And even our guides, how many times have they told us, do not fear?
Because it will come, whether you fear or not, it will come naturally.
Mhm. All these predictions we've been given,
Will come
they will
on
come,
their own
but
time.
it's all to bring
Yeah,
about a new world.
that's right.
And
A new
so
transformation.
a
It's
new
not the end of the earth or the end of
Mhm.
humanity, but it is a transformation. There will
Mhm.
be less population, but it is a transformation for the human race.
Yeah, and so it will be what it'll be. It will be in its own
Right.
timing.
So no use fearing it because it'll be in its own time.
Mhm.
You just have to understand it and you prepare yourself to understand it.
And everything has a reason for
That's
happening.
right.
So thank you for joining us. Please hit the subscribe button or the thumbs up or leave us a comment, because these messages do need to get out to more people. And we hope that you got something out of it.
Anyway, thanks for being with us.
Peace be with you on your journey to enlightenment. Have a great week. Bye bye.